Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the state of play with the administration's new deferred resignation program. The program, as you've probably heard, is a large scale email from OPM. They're the kind of budget managers in the government, many employees saying, hey, you can get a few months of pay and wink, wink, you don't have to be really even working. And if you don't do that, all bets are off. We don't know. We might fire you tomorrow and the like. And so far, something like 3% of the federal workforce that this has gone to have taken this pretty lousy deal, but calculated maybe it's the best we're going to get from this hard-hearted new sheriff in town that's looking to cut everybody's job. Okay, so yesterday a judge said that I'm not going to grant relief. The judge had done, Judge O'Toole in Massachusetts, a preliminary injunction to think it over, and now came out with an opinion saying the administration can go ahead, and that's being touted as a big victory for the administration, really the only one in what has been a string of losses and injunctions for unlawful activities. But this one too is being way overstated. Well, all that happened is the judge said, I've got plaintiffs in front of me who are unions, and we don't have in front of me individuals who can really show they have been injured. And as you probably know now from years of Trump travails, that is what you need to get into federal court, so-called standing and actual injury, and not just the kind of representational harm as unions have. You know, they care a lot about it, but the judge said, look, that's not individual injury. So based on that, I am not going to enjoin it. That is all the judge said. A spokesperson for the administration came out and said, now the legality has been established. Boom, boom, boom. It's all over. But the shouting, or even the shouting, that's wrong. The judge said nothing about legality, and the challenge to it remains viable. Now, the administration, though, looking to kind of quickly capitalize on this, said, oh, our program is closed. Anybody who didn't take our buyout, which had been extended after the judge granted an injunction, now it's too late, and we'll see. One of the threatening saber-rattling aspects of the email was, you don't know what's coming next, but they're going to offer something else, like steak knives for people who retire, something less than those months. But the question is, well, in any event, if it's unlawful, there still will be damages and ways to challenge it. But what they hope is the case is that it's too late now to try to enjoin it because it's already closed, or this aspect of it has. Or so they say, but it is pretty tricky. And I think a court may well not agree. There's already been another lawsuit filed in DC over this and other employee actions. It was filed just before O'Toole issued his standing opinion, and it also has simply union representatives. You know, everything is flying fast and furious. People are putting together lawsuits, and they're being not as careful or cautious or thoughtful about finding the right plaintiffs as they would be if they had weeks and weeks. They're looking to move quickly because the administration is moving quickly. But anyway, this so-called we're all done situation seems very much not to be all done. For one, to pay these folks that extra stipend for the next few months requires an appropriation from Congress, and that hasn't happened yet. And there are other details that just haven't occurred. So I think the administration could well go to court and say it's all over, but a plaintiffs and a court could say, no, it isn't. You've barely started. There's all kinds of details that have to be worked out. And because that's the case, a court with proper plaintiffs in front of it could say, I'm going to enjoin this. I'm going to say it can't go forward. And even as to those 3% of the people who said, okay, we will do this, I'm going to enjoin its operation against them. So there'll be a little bit of a timing issue. Just, to take a step back, you enjoin something before it goes into effect to keep it from going into effect. Once it does, you may still have remedies, but they are usually in the nature of damages. But what the plaintiffs here want to have happen is to put the brakes on this whole program. The administration is very eager to say, oh, the train's left the station, it's too late, etc. But I think that's going to be a legal question, and I'm confident that 1 or 2 or 16 groups are right now putting together a complaint that includes individual employees, and you've got to find individual employees who have been harmed in a sufficient way to actually establish standing and therefore be able to have a court consider their legal claims. The other lawsuit that I mentioned does go into the legal claims, maybe or maybe not, that will a DC court find that there's standing. But the claims basically say, you can't do this, administration. This is for Congress to do, and Congress only, and it throws in other claims as well that it's really not. It's in the fig leaf form of a bargain, but it really isn't. They're forcing it down the employees' throats with this lousy bargain, and that implicates the legality of the program as well. So to summarize, what you're hearing in the press, and especially from the administration, that this has been now they've got a victory, it's been ruled legal, is totally false. Anybody with any knowledge of how the federal courts work would know it's false, and that has to include the people in the administration who are writing the talking points that are being ballyhooed over the airwaves now. And second, it's still subject to challenge at a minimum for damages if it's unlawful and Congress had to go forward. But I think very possibly it's still not complete. You still need many things that Congress would have to do. It's basically a contract analysis that the terms and everything have not been filled in enough to make it binding, no matter what the administration, which is trying to quickly stitch it up and say, oh, all over, will say. So it could well be that a new lawsuit, and they are coming for sure, will actually still be able to enjoin, that is, freeze it from going forward anymore and not just be limited to damages. That's what we'll look for in the next 24 to 48 hours. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.